Hey my friends, welcome back to the channel. Your favorite fishing expert is here to break down the bite for an exciting yet challenging day. December 4th, 2025. Now I know what you're thinking. Early December, in the United Kingdom, that means cold and probably tough fishing, right? Well, today we've got a bit of a twist that could turn a slow day into an absolute cracker, especially for you predator anglers out there. Stick with me, because I'm going to tell you exactly how to approach this unique day and why the full moon could be your secret weapon. Let's dive into our top targets for this chilly winter's day. Given the cold water, we're focusing on species that remain active and thrive in these conditions. Our top three for today are the mighty pike, the hard-hitting perch, and the ever-reliable chub. First, the pike. In these cold conditions, pike are not going to expend much energy chasing prey. They will be holding in deeper water close to any structure that offers cover and an ambush point. Think submerged trees, the edges of dense reed beds, and the deeper channels in our rivers and larger lakes. Finding them is half the battle, my friends. For lure anglers, the key phrase is low and slow. You need to get your lure right down to their level and present it slowly, making it an easy meal. Soft plastics, dead baits on a paternoster rig, or even a slow-trolled jerkbait can be incredibly effective. Remember, a smaller, easier meal is more appealing when they're conserving energy. Pike feed all winter long, and some of the biggest ones are caught during this season. Next up, the perch. These aggressive predators will feed all year long, and winter can be a fantastic time to target the bigger ones. Small perch move in shoals, but the larger specimens tend to be more solitary. Look for them around features like jetties, bridge pilings, drop-offs, and even canal beds where they can ambush smaller baitfish. Small jigs, tiny drop-shot rigs with finesse worms, or even a single maggot or small lobworm under a float can entice a bite. Keep your presentation subtle and focus on areas with slightly deeper water, especially if the sun makes a brief appearance. Finally, the chub. These fantastic fish will feed all winter long and are excellent targets in flowing water like rivers and canals. They often hold in areas with some current but also plenty of cover, such as overhanging banks, submerged snags, or weir pools. For chub, my go-to tactic would be a small feeder, loaded with liquidized bread or maggots, presented on the edge of a run or alongside an obstruction. A simple link ledger rig with a single piece of punched bread or a cluster of red maggots can be deadly. They're not as pressured as some other species and can offer consistent action even in the cold. Now, let's talk about the conditions that will define our day on December 4th, 2025. Weather. We're looking at a generally cold and damp day across much of the United Kingdom. Temperatures will vary, with some northern areas like Dumfries and Galloway seeing temperatures between -1 and 3 degrees Celsius, while London is forecast for 9 degrees Celsius high and 4 degrees Celsius low. Other areas in England might see temperatures between 7 and 9 degrees Celsius. We can expect light rain and occasional showers throughout the day, with a small chance of snow flurries overnight in some regions. Precipitation could range from 0.01 to 0.48 inches. Atmospheric pressure is predicted to be rising. The wind is expected to be light to moderate, with potential shifts. Some forecasts indicate an easterly or northwesterly breeze at 2 on the Beaufort scale, or northeasterly at 7 miles per hour. These changes in pressure can sometimes trigger feeding frenzies. Water temperature. As we're deep into December, water temperatures in our lakes and rivers will be cold. Inland waters are typically colder than sea waters. Average seawater temperatures around the UK in December range from 6.6 to 12.3 degrees Celsius, while freshwater lakes can see averages around 10.2 degrees Celsius, and some even as low as 6 degrees Celsius. This low temperature means fish metabolism is slower, and they won't be as actively chasing food. They'll be looking for easier, less energy-intensive meals, and will seek out slightly warmer pockets of water, often in deeper sections, sheltered bays, or areas with less current. Moon phase. And here's the X factor for today, my friends. December 4th, 2025 marks the full moon phase. It's affectionately known as the cold moon. Now, angling folklore has long suggested that the days surrounding a full moon can trigger frantic feeding, especially among predators. While fish can be wary in bright moonlight, the increased gravitational pull seems to stir something in them. My experience tells me there's truth in this, especially during low-light periods like dawn, dusk, and even into the night when the moon is bright in the sky. So while the cold might make them sluggish, the full moon could create specific, intense feeding windows. General fish activity. Overall, fish activity will be moderate to good, mainly driven by the full moon's influence on predators. Expect some species, particularly coarse fish like roach, to be a bit more cautious. However, pike, perch, and chub should be catchable, especially if you adapt your tactics. Fish will be conserving energy, so slow, deliberate presentations are key. They'll be holding in predictable spots, often deeper or near cover, so pinpoint accuracy with your casts is crucial. The Met Office's long-range forecast hints at patchy rain and drizzle, which can make for an unpleasant start to December, but don't let that deter you. Overall fishing forecast. Considering all these factors, my forecast for the United Kingdom on December 4th, 2025 is good. Yes, good. While the cold temperatures and light rain might make it feel challenging, the rising atmospheric pressure and, most importantly, the powerful influence of the full moon suggest that certain species, particularly our winter predators, will have active feeding spells. Don't expect non-stop action, but be ready for those intense windows of opportunity. This is not a day to stay home. So there you have it, fellow anglers. A challenging, yet potentially very rewarding day awaits us on December 4th. Dress warm, stay dry, and focus your efforts around those prime full moon feeding windows. In wishing you all the very best, tight lines, and as always, ni kvosta, ni cheshuyi. If you found this forecast helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with your fishing buddies. And tell me in the comments below, what are your go-to winter baits and what's the biggest fish you've ever caught during a full moon? Let's get the conversation going. See you next time.